Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome to another question and answer session for MRCS exam. Here is the question: which muscle is not innerved by the trigeminal nerve? We know that the trigeminal nerve, it is the cranial nerve 5, that means it is the fifth cranial nerve, and we have to find out which muscle will not be innerved by the trigeminal nerve. For this, first of all, we have to know details about the trigeminal nerve. Then we have to find out the innervation of the trigeminal nerve. Then it will be clear for us that the which is not supplied by the trigeminal nerve. Here the options we can see: medial pterygoid muscle, mylohyoid, stylohyoid, masseter, and temporalis muscle. So we have to find out one of the muscle which is not supplied by the trigeminal nerve. For this answer, let's see some of the picture here. So in this picture, we can see here in this part, anterior to the face, this all are the branch from the trigeminal nerve. Here we can see this is the trigeminal nerve, here the trigeminal nerve, and here also the trigeminal nerve. And we know that the trigeminal nerve, it has three branches. One of them is ophthalmic division, then maxillary division, then mandibular division. And ophthalmic and maxillary, they are the sensory division, and mandibular, it is the mixed division. So this mandibular nerve, it supplies the muscle. On the other hand, the ophthalmic and maxillary branch, they gives the sensory innervation. And we can see the ophthalmic branch of the trigeminal nerve, it supplies this area. Here we can see the branches supraorbital and supratrochlear here, and they also supplies from the upper part of the eye and uh, in the scalp up to the middle area or up to the vertex. Then we can see some other branches such as the pulpy branch of lacrimal, which supplies here, then inferior trochlear, which supplies here, and the external other branch of the anterior ethmoidal nerve, it also supplies here up to the nose tip. So the ophthalmic division of the trigeminal nerve, it supplies a larger area up to the nose tip and up to the eye. The second one is the maxillary division, and it has the branch of infraorbital nerve here, then zygomaticofacial and zygomaticotemporal, and it supplies in the zygomatic area. Then last of all, the mandibular division, it supplies in the lower part of the face. So these are the sensory innervation in short about the trigeminal nerve. Then we can see these are the muscular supply of the trigeminal nerve, and here there are the 8 important muscles which is supplied by the mandibular division of the trigeminal nerve. Here we can see the masseter, temporalis, medial pterygoid, and lateral pterygoid. These 4 muscles are the muscle of the mastication. So masseter, temporalis, medial pterygoid, and lateral pterygoid, they are the muscles of mastication, is supplied by the trigeminal nerve. Then we can see the 4 other muscle also here. They are the tensor belli palatini, tensor tympani, mylohyoid, and anterior belly of the digastric. So tensor belli palatini, tensor tympani, mylohyoid, and anterior belly of the digastric. Here one point have to remember that the posterior belly of the digastric, it is supplied by the facial nerve, it is not supplied by the trigeminal nerve. So this point have to remember that anterior belly of digastric, it is supplied by the trigeminal nerve, and posterior belly of the digastric muscle, it is supplied by the facial nerve. Now let's see here. This is in short about the all type of supply of the trigeminal nerve. So sensory area, it supplies the scalp, face, oral cavity and teeth, nose and paranasal sinuses, and dura mater. So scalp, face, orbital cavity and teeth, nasal cavity and paranasal sinuses, and dura mater. And motor, 8 important muscles of mastication. Here 4 muscle: masseter, temporalis, medial and lateral pterygoid. On the other hand, 4 other muscle such as mylohyoid, anterior belly of the digastric, tensor tympani, tensor veli palatini, and some of the autonomic connections such as the ciliary ganglia, sphenopalatine ganglia, otic ganglia, and submandibular ganglia. So these are the supply of the trigeminal nerve. So these are the in short about the trigeminal nerve. Now in the next picture we can see this is the stylohyoid muscle. That means a muscle which is arising from the styloid process and it attaches to the hyoid bone. In the either side you can see this is the stylohyoid muscle, and this muscle it arising from the styloid process here of the temporal bone, and it attaches or ends in the hyoid bone. So this muscle, now let's see the nerve supply of this muscle. So here we can see this muscle, this is the stylohyoid muscle, and we can see the nerve which supplies this stylohyoid muscle, and this nerve is the styloid branch of the this nerve, and this nerve is the facial nerve. So the stylohyoid nerve, it is supplied by the stylohyoid branch of the facial nerve, and we know facial nerve is the seventh number of the cranial nerve, which is the cranial nerve 7, and we know that this is the stylomastoid foramen. This foramen is the stylomastoid foramen. So when we leaves the stylomastoid foramen, here this facial nerve gives three important nerve. The mnemonics of the is PDS. PDS is one of the suture material, and here P for posterior auricular nerve, which is here. Then D for digastric branch, and S for stylohyoid branch. So PDS, which is the important three branch of the facial nerve, which lies at when the facial nerve exits the stylomastoid foramen. And then three other important nerve present in the facial canal, and here the mnemonics is CNG. CNG. First C for chorda tympani. Here this branch, this is the chorda tympani. Then N for nerve to stapedius. Here this nerve, and G for greater petrosal nerve. So the facial nerve, in the facial canal, three important nerve, and mnemonics is CNG. When it crosses the stylomastoid foramen, it gives another three branch, which is the PDS, and the five terminal branches also present, and there also another mnemonics that two zombies broken by car. Through this mnemonic, the terminal branch also can be memorized. Two zombies broken my car. It is the terminal branch. T for temporal, Z for zygomatic, B for buccal, M for marginal mandibular, and C for cervical. So these are the branches of the facial nerve in short. So 3 plus 3 plus 5, that is the total 11 branches of the facial nerve and their mnemonics. Now here we can see, so the stylohyoid muscle, it is supplied by the facial nerve and not supplied by the trigeminal nerve. Other, we can see the medial pterygoid is supplied by trigeminal nerve, mylohyoid is supplied by trigeminal nerve, masseter it is supplied by the trigeminal nerve, and temporalis it also supplied by the trigeminal nerve. But stylohyoid, it is supplied by this nerve. This is the facial nerve. Thank you.